Today we're going to review the full year algebra, unit 2, lesson 4. There are two parts. The first part, the teacher will most likely be going over during class. The second part is what I'm going to ask the students to watch this video. They can do it in their own time frame when they feel that they have accomplished the tasks that were asked prior to that. So if we start with the warm-up, we're going to review multiplying versus combining like terms. In the past, we reviewed these two rules. If you are multiplying or dividing, you will change the powers of the variables because we are actually multiplying and recounting. If you are adding and subtracting, known as combining like terms, you will not change the variables or the powers. Again, we're going to put together people who have the same variable parts. So if I started with number 1, 2x times 3x, I know that because they're right next door to the parentheses, I'm actually going to multiply these. So 2 times 3 is 6. If I count, I have 2 x's, which results in an exponent of 2. Multiplying is changing the power. In the next example, I'm going to multiply. There is a 1 in front of the x squared. So when I multiply here, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. X squared stayed the same. Now, when I move to number 3, please be careful. In number 3, notice on the inside I have 2 people. Therefore, I have to multiply twice. This is going to be today's topic. 2 times x, remember there's a 1 in front, is 2x. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. The next part of the warm-up involves a review of lesson 3, combining like terms. If I look at number 1, I can clearly see that I have 2 terms. 2 plus 3 in the calculator or your brain is 5. Last name is x. Notice I did not change this to x squared because I'm combining people in the same family. Number 2, xy has a first name of 1. That is its coefficient. 1 plus 3 is 4. Same last name, xy. Moving over to number 3, there are 4 different terms. Only the 4x and the negative 8x are in the same family. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Family name is x. Bring down the 32. Bring down the x squared. Be careful, some students are prone to put these two terms together. The x squared family is not the same as the x family. You cannot combine them. Distributive property and combining like terms. Combining like terms means putting together people with the same variables. Terms with exactly the same variables. To use the distributive property, we're going to multiply the term on the outside by all of the terms on the inside. So if you take a look, I have 2 terms that I've highlighted in red, 1 in blue. If I take 3 times 2, I get a positive 6. Now when I take the 3 times the positive 4x, I get positive 12x. Can I combine these? No. I'm going to stop at this point because neither one of them have the same variable parts. So let's try this in the next few examples. I'm going to clearly highlight the number out front. In number 3, if I have a negative, that stands for negative 1. On the inside, I have 2 variable terms. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times positive 4 is positive 20. 7 times a, 7 times negative b. Multiply here, 7a, multiply here, minus 7b. In number 3, I have two things. I can take negative 1 times 5n, which gives me negative 5n. Negative 1 times positive 6 is negative 6. However, at this point, I would like to call your attention to the following rule. Anytime there is a negative in front of parentheses, so remember I had a 5n plus 6, we want to use a rule where we apply opposites. So what is the opposite of 5n? Negative 5n. What is the opposite of positive 6? Negative 6. Notice you get the same exact answer as multiplying by negative 1. But as we move forward, it may be easier for you to remember that a negative in front of parentheses means to take the opposite. Not a negative number in front, but just a plain negative sign. Three more examples. In numbers 4 and 6, notice how we have what we're going to multiply by at the end. Negative 4 is at the end. 5 is at the end. On the inside, I have a y and a minus 3. I'm then going to multiply here to get negative 4y. Multiply here to get positive 12. Negative times a negative is positive. 3 times 4 is 12. Number 5 is a little bit more standard. Multiply by 3. 2 terms on the inside. 3 times r is 3r. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Moving over here to the far right. Multiply. Multiply. 5 times a, 5a, 5 times c is 5c. Please make sure as you review this video that number 6 and number 4 are different than the other ones that we were introduced to. Number 5 is a typical form. Number out front, 2 inside of the parentheses. Skill that we've already taught but we want to review. We want to take our brain now and we're going to go from multiplying and dividing through distributive property and we're going to go back to adding and subtracting. So notice our rules. When you're adding and subtracting, aka combining like terms, we do not want to change the letters or the powers. So if I look up here, I have all y's. They're all y people or in the y family. 6 minus 11 plus 2 is negative 3, last name y. As we move on to number 8, please notice r, number, t. None of these are in the same family, therefore they cannot be combined. We can stop here. Moving on to number 9, 7x minus 3x is going to be 4x, where we do not change the family name. The last section is an independent video. The directions say to simplify by distributing first and then combining like terms. So these are much more complicated problems that will involve multi-steps. If I start up in the front, notice I have a negative 2 that needs to be distributed to a 4a and a minus 3. When I multiply, I get negative 8a. When I multiply here, I get a positive 6, negative 2 times negative 3. This matches directly with what is above. Now I'm going to take the positive 6 and multiply here and here times a 5 and times a 3a. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 3a is 18a. Part B, combine like terms. I'm now switching down. You are looking for people in the same family. So when I do that, notice 8a plus 18a combines to give me 10a. Positive 6 plus 30 is plus 36, and I'm done. Moving on to number 11. Number 11 tends to be tricky for students because they want to simplify the problem by adding right from the beginning. Do not do this. According to PEMDAS, we always multiply first. So I'm going to take this plus 2. I'm going to multiply it by the 4 and the 7x. 2 times 4 is positive 8. 2 times 7 is positive 14x. Yes, we've distributed, but we haven't combined like terms because we didn't bring down the negative 5x we didn't touch. Now we carefully evaluate who is in the same family, who has the same variables. Negative 5 plus 14 is positive 9x. Bring down the 8. Final answer. Number 12. C cubed plus c squared plus 2c cubed. Simplify by distributing. If I look at the problem, I don't see any parentheses. Therefore, I have no need to distribute. I can go right to combining like terms. Who's in the same family? Well, c cubed has a 1 in front. 2c cubed, same family. 1 plus 2 is 3c cubed. Bring down the c squared. Because I'm adding and subtracting, they have to be in the same family to combine them, which they are not. Therefore, I can stop. Notice when I combined the squiggly ones, my exponent and my variables did not change.